Welcome to Southwestern Vehicle Auctions YouTube channel. I'm Owen Shepherd and I'm joined by Chris Holmes today, and in this video we'll be doing a review of our winter classic sale that took place on the 28th of January, going through our highest sellers, the percentage of cars sold, some of the highlights and the best buys. I'll now hand over to Chris Holmes to start the review.
Thank you, Owen. Before we get going on this one, I'd just like to point out that the prices we are quoting in this video are the hammer prices, i.e. excluding purchase fee. Now, we had an absolute cracker of a sale for the winter auction, but currently we've sold 89% of the entries, but we had two other cars which we're trying to bring the hammer down on, which will shove us well over the 90%. Now, the top four cars which we want to mention to you is, I'll give you the lot numbers so you can have a look online and see what you think of them. It's lot 2, which was a no reserve Daimler Sovereign, which hadn't turned a wheel for some 38 years or more, and was sold as a car to be restored. Now, I was discussing this with Classic Car Weekly, and they thought it might make, with a bit of luck, £2,000. Well, it ended up making £3,150 plus buyer's premium. The next one is a modern classic. It's lot 15, which you no doubt, if you've been following the sale, that was a pre-production Mini 1. Bear in mind she had done over 100,000 miles, but she was in first class order. It was sold no reserve, and I think she made very good money at £4,700. Following that one, we go to the classic Saab, lot number 32. We had a top estimate on this motor car at 4,009, and she's way over that. She fetched £6,600 on the hammer. Following that was lot number 24. This is the classic sort of cars of the 60s and 70s. It was an MGB Roadster, top estimate 48,000. She fetched 7,500. That leads me on to the top 5 cars which made exceptionally good money. Now, to start off with the last lot of the day, which was that Aston Martin DB9 Volante. Now, it was just a beautiful, beautiful car, and it made £38,200. We had a massive interest. I think there were 6 telephone bidders, and even more than that online. Following the Aston Martin, the next one we've picked out is the Ford Escort Mark 1. Now, she started off life as just an ordinary little 1.3 Escort saloon. Somebody got a hold of it and turned it into a recreation of an RS and fitted a Cosworth 2-litre Cosworth turbo engine underneath the bonnet. The workmanship was absolutely first class, and she fetched a very credible £29,000. Going to the pre-war cars now, there was a lovely little MG J-Type. She was really for restoration because it needed completely painting. The interior needs sorting out, but it was on the button and it sounded very good. We expected it to make somewhere around about 15 to 19. She made £20,400. Then there was that sad story of the Mustang. It hadn't been finished, so really it was a project, although the project side of it was small, but it still had to be finished properly. That made a very good £17,000. And lastly, the most beautiful TR6. Well, what can I say about that car? Whoever's got it's got a beauty. It made £16,800. Now, Owen and I have selected what we think were the best buys and good value for money, and no doubt an investment. First one was lot 44, little white Stag. Nice car, very presented well, made £5,000. Needed a little bit of work on the paintwork, but still good value for money. The next car was the Maserati Spider. Now, that's a modern classic, and again, a low mileage car, 48,000 miles, and in first class order. It sold well at 13,003, but it had room to go a bit further than that. So I think the buyer of that car has got a bargain. And the last one I'm going to pick out for you is lot 28. I'm very close to these cars, but I have a 351 myself. This is Mercedes 280 SL. Again, it needed a little bit of paint, and it made an incredible £8,000. Good value for money for the man who's bought that. It was one of those in top orders, 15 to 19,000. Lastly, we are now taking entries for the Spring Classic. And I won't bore you with what we have in already, but I've been promised some very interesting cars. And so keep an eye on our website to see what's coming in as we go along. And if you would like to enter a classic car, all you have to do is pick up the phone and call 01202 745466, that is 745466, or email classics@swva.co.uk and mark it for the attention of Owen Shepherd. Please leave your telephone number and he'll get back to you, or he'll email me and I'll come back to you. Thank you very much indeed for watching this, and I hope you enjoyed it.